So this week I noticed a bug on the app, which once you went past like the amount of goals on screen, so I just added a bunch on here. And check this, you'll see that before you weren't able to like scroll at all, so I added scrolling onto this, and today I'm going to show you how I did that. So for scrolling on browser, it's automatically built in when writing code, so you don't have to add anything. But for apps, you actually have to write code for it. So the first thing I did was I went to the very top and imported Flatlist. So there's two different types of scrolling you can import. The first one is scroll view, which is what I originally started using. The second one is Flatlist, which is what I'm using now. The basic difference is that scroll view is used for when you have like small amounts of data, and what it does is it keeps all of the like lists and like things you add to the screen, like all the text and stuff, keeps it loaded even if it isn't on page. But Flatlist is used mainly for like large amounts of data, and it like deloads the text and information that isn't on screen, so that it saves more data and like storage. Alright, so if I scroll on here, you'll see there's some new stuff mainly over here. Mainly all this isn't, most of it's new. You can see that I have like all the flat list information inside of a view, and this is because originally on the app when I didn't have this extra view, the input took up half the screen, and then the list only was half the screen, and so that was because the flat list style was overriding the style I had in it. So it would just basically set to like whatever was, it would just do half and half. And so I had to add another view up here or right here and down here in order to have it override this list so that it was more like 20% 80%. Another difference between flat list and scroll view is that for flat list you have to assign each like list thing its own value. So what this code does is that it assigns a variable to each of the like different lists. And so if I go up here, you can see this was changed. So now it just creates a random number for each one and assigns it to each of the different lists. And then the always bounce vertical equals false. This basically prevents the user from scrolling when the list is only like 3 or 4 things. So if this wasn't here, they'd be able to still like move it up and down. It would just bounce back. So it just stops them from being able to move it up and down. There's only like 3 or 4 items. I can show. If I had like just 1, 2, 3, you can see I can't scroll it. The next thing I did was I created new components. So you can see on the right here by my arrow, there's 2 new components. There's goal input and goal item. I haven't done anything with input yet. I'm gonna be doing that later this week. But goal item, basically I took the style and text that was at the bottom down here. It was down here before and moved it over here. And I also created a return in here. And what this does is it isolates like certain aspects of the code to make it easier for updating. I'm able to give it custom properties that doesn't directly affect the main app .js. And so isolating it over here allows me to mess with just this part of the code instead of having to update all the code and having possibly more bugs from that. And so having it isolated here makes it easier to work with.